Remember, boys, spraying on extra oil doesn't give you extra horsepower. Alright, we're going to get race prepped because we have 2 racing events that we're going to be racing the Mustang in. This Saturday, June 22nd, we're going to HMP oval track. They're doing some oval races, but in between the heats, they're doing some spectator racing. We're going to try our best. The next weekend, June 29th, that's going to be a HPDE event that we're going to be doing racing, road racing down on the big track down in south of Houston, MSRH. So here in front of me, we've got a fresh oil filter, some Driven FR50. I haven't used this oil. I know a lot of guys who track Coyote cars, they'll do it with 5W50. That's what this is. This is a full synthetic. I've heard good things. I've heard it works very good with the VCT control. So I'll give it a try. Typically, I'll do just a fresh oil change. 5W30. I have heard that there are some guys that run the 5W50. Gives you a little bit extra added protection. And then, we needed some fresh brake pads always before track day. It's kind of a good luck thing. So we went with BP20 compound. What's on the car now is a BP10. Brakes stop pretty good, but we're gonna see what BP20 does. And we're gonna take all the wheels off, do a nut and bolt check. We're gonna check to make sure we have plenty of brake caliper on the rear brakes. And if those are good, I think I'm gonna rock with those. But the fronts definitely will get changed out since they're gonna be doing the majority of the work here. So let's get started. Let's break the lug ducts and get this thing up in the air. Alright, so everything seems good. Looks dusty. There's actually pretty decent thickness there. Kind of how I expected the rear brakes to be. So we're gonna go check the passenger side just so that we can be set at ease that one side isn't doing all the work, because this brake looks fine. It'll survive for both events. Brake pads look pretty good on the side as well. Both rotors also don't have any signs of cracking or heat marks, so let's go ahead and put the wheel back on and head to the front. Actually, don't look too bad. Looking all nice and used up too. Alright, so we need to take off this Allen head bolt and that back nut. Alright, so first time kind of doing pads. I know this guy's going to come out. Then there's this middle bar. And then I just got to get these out now. So a little pry bar at the top of the little ear of the brake pad, and you just gotta bump it with the back of your hand. Doesn't take much pressure. And then you just pop that guy out. I say you pop it out, but first time I've serviced wheel with brake pads, but two, by the way. I'm sure with one hand this is so much easier. I mean, two hands. These aren't bad. We're probably going to hang on to these to maybe, you know, throw back on after we track it. So, new pad on the right, old pad on the left. There's a lot of life left in these pads. So, yeah, we're going to use the good pads for track day, obviously, so that we can get a new personal best and be competitive at the oval track, but this isn't too bad. So got the first one in. That was a fairly easy process, so I'm gonna at least show you guys pads going in. So make sure plate is on the, you know, the correct side. You might need to push some pistons in. I'm being gentle when I do this. Alright, got it. It's tight and the pistons are like popping right back out. right as I was like putting the, you know, putting one hand down, it was like, and it was fast enough to like, pop right on out. So okay, we got it. Throw that guy back in there. I'm gonna need two hands for this to tighten this down. Alright, so this side is done. Oh. Get these straightened out so we can put the wheel on easier. Get the wheel on. Get to the other side. Also, we're gonna pull the filter down. Alright. Oh! Okay, I'm gonna go with the wrench. Yeah. You know, I got to thinking, look at the tire. You see all the little rocks right there on the tire that nice soft compound picks up? Being that this is in the fender well, I started seeing those same rocks. Where'd it go? Kind of all up in here. So we're gonna clean this. Plus it looks like it needs to be cleaned. Alright, well, this guy dries because it's been deep, you know, oiled off and got the soap and soaked it down with water. Before we recoat it, we'll let it dry and go take care of the brake pads on the other side of the car and finish our oil change while it's still kind of draining down there. You know, drip draining. I'm in no rush to put it back together, but at least not yet. But we're gonna put these brake pads on, then we'll throw new filter on, fill up the engine. Probably about the time that'll finish up, we'll put the air filter on, put the wheels back on, drop the car back on the ground, and we'll go take it for a spin so that we can bed those new pads in. Also, I'm pretty curious to see how brake friction applies itself with the new pads compared to, because to be honest, the BP10 stuff was pretty good. BP20 is a good step upward compared to my last brakes that I had the BP20s. So I'm pretty excited to find out how they feel with the big brakes. Alright, so just pull that. What I do, just get this pry bar at the top. It sneaks its way right on the ear of that brake pad, and you just kind of give it a little pry. Like that. Getting our new filter. And we're just gonna throw this guy back on. All right. Yeah. All right. By the way, this is not a paid promotion in any way. I bought these myself. I wish they were cheaper, but you know, we're gonna try out new oil and protect this thing. All right, so here's the first bottle. Let's see if there's any gimmicks to, like, I don't know, dyeing it orange like Royal Purple's purple. No, it's all right. So 8 quarts in the Coyote. Let me go ahead and scratch this 5W20 off. Anyways, let's go ahead and crank this thing and get some oil circulating. That's nice. That's pretty dry, so let's oil this thing up, install it so I can put the wheel back onto the car and take this guy for a spin. Remember, boys, spraying on extra oil doesn't give you extra horsepower. Alright, so brake pad swapped, all lug nuts are on the car, not torqued yet, but on it, tighter than hand tight. Oil filled, catch can drain, engine filter swapped, all 8 quarts is in the engine, car crank, no problem. Hood closed, caps on, everything shut down, we got no missing parts. I know what you're thinking, how can you tell with a mess like this? There isn't. Time to drop the car on the ground. Brake's feeling pretty good. Pretty good. Made a pit stop, but the new brake pads feel good. The brakes are big enough at the more street pads, I guess the lesser pads, the BP10 pads, which have less stopping power, I guess you could say, at a lower temperature range because they're more street, you know, more for the street. Now these are BP20, which elevates it to be a street and track pad. So it's not a full track pad, but it's definitely also streetable. Right off the bat, what I'm noticing is, so one, we're limited on braking because of, one, there's a lot of moisture out right now because it just finished raining here in Houston off and on. It's real high humidity. But other than that, even if it was dry, the tires can only stop the car so much. They, you know, I have more brake than I have tires able to hold to the ground, if that makes sense. So what I've noticed with the BP20 pads is they take less effort to stop the car and to get to that threshold of being able to either lock up the wheels, you know, but they feel great. I like them. I'm pretty happy with them. It definitely feels similar for when I had the previous brakes, because the BP10 on the previous brakes were the 11-inch rotors and the single piston floating calipers, which they're fine if you cruise your car, but not if you track your car. They're terrible because you can overheat the rotors, you can crack them super easy. Yeah, but anyways, so these, I think they're going to do good. I think they're going to do well in the sense of a 30-minute session on track. I think they'll have plenty of endurance. I'm sure the rotors will take plenty of the heat. We also have cooling mods like the brake ducting in there, so we're looking pretty good in the braking department. The engine oil, nothing out of the norm. Quiet engine operation, nothing to worry about there. I'm pretty proud of it. I'm excited to go racing again, and stay tuned for those to come out whenever I come out. I'm going to try. I'm gonna have the helmet. We need to wear helmets. I'll have the helmet. I'll do the POV perspective of the racing from my chin mount. That way you see what I see when I'm racing the car. Same with the track day. Hopefully, like last year, I don't press time lapse. We don't need a time lapse. We want a video. So, cross your fingers, we won't screw that up. So, thank you for watching. If you got any questions of kind of what went down here, drop it down in the comments. I'm happy to respond, tell you what's going on. And as always, like, comment, and if you're new here, don't think about subscribing. And I will see you again, but on race day.